Hello everyone, it's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Kamloops, British Columbia, which happens to be like in the interior of British Columbia, West Coast, if you were just wondering. Anyways, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I haven't done a mystery challenge for quite a while, and obviously that is quite evident because when I gave my clues, I gave clues from back then and not the clues for today, but I did go in and correct them. So anyways, today is my mystery challenge. Now, my mystery challenge, I usually do it around a challenge, another challenge that I may have to do, so which happens to be a Festive Friday challenge, just to let you know. But anyways, with this challenge, I take something that you may have in your craft room, and it's something that you just get to use some of your product. So if you're joining me through YouTube, welcome. Make sure that you're subscribed down below here. Hit that bell and you get notified immediately. Or if you're joining me on the page, my Facebook page, remember that those videos are only good for 30 days. So I always suggest to go over to my YouTube channel. But welcome. This was a Festive Friday challenge that I am in, and it was really, really difficult because I found it was difficult with some of the stuff that was asked for in there, but I think I've come up with a good compromise. I'm a little rogue always in these challenges anyways. So, like I say, the clues today is Wreath. What else is there? There's Wreath. There's watercoloring, and there's sympathy. And I know that kind of brings about really sort of different things to do. But if you really think outside the box, it has all to do with Armistice Day or Remembrance Day. But this card is not going to be having anything to do with that. Anyways, so let's go on down to my desktop and then let's just take a look. So hello, Sharon, and hello, Felicia. Perfect, Felicia. Love it. Yeah, there's that, and faux leather was another one that was also given, but that's perfect. Thank you, Felicia. I appreciate that. Joyful Tidings. This is from the little mini catalog. It's really kind of neat. It's not really a wreath, but it's a half wreath, so that counts as a wreath, does it not? So anyways, and it is all towards joyful, and then I'm using it for sympathy. Can you go figure that? But this one I think will turn into a nice sympathy card, because a lot of times we don't want to see a sympathy card where it's just all gloom and doom. But anyways, where there's a little bit with it. This could also be a just thinking of you card. It could be any of that kind of thing. But anyways, I just want to show you how that would work. All right, so we're going to be using that. Of course, we're going to be using watercolor paper. I cut this piece just over 3 inches by 3 inches. And I'm going to take this image here. That's my favorite image there. Can you see it? I like it with the oranges and the pine cones. And I'm going to come in with my watercolor paper. This is going to retire and go, right? Because it's red rubber. Hello, Pam. So anybody that's in that stamp camp, all of your kits went out yesterday. I hope you get them in time for the stamp camp. But because of the postal strike, I can't guarantee it's, but I'm just hoping, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. All right, so we're going to take this. I've done it with the embossing buddy. And then I'm going to take this stamp, and I'm going to ink it up with Versamark. And then we're just going to go and take this, and I'm just going to stamp this like so, and I'm just going to let that sit down there for just a tiny bit. This will be going on my blog a week Friday morning, so all the measurements and all that will be on there, as well as all the supplies on there. All right, so just going to take this, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my, hello Bobby, And I'm going to come in with my black embossing powder. Now, the reason I am using black embossing powder is because I'm doing this with watercoloring, and I do not want any of the color or the thing to leak out. Technically, we should be using this with, we should be using it with Versamark, but I don't like how that one went and stamped. It's like you know what? I think I might do one more. I thought I had an extra one just in case this didn't work so well. But anyways, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this again. I don't think I had enough of the embossing powder on there. So I'll just put that off to the side. We're going to come back in with the Versamark. And like I say, this is watercolor paper. I do not like stays-on ink. I think stays-on ink, especially if it's photopolymer, it wrecks your stamps. I don't like using the cleaner on the photopolymer, so I'm quite picky about the photopolymer part. Okay, so let's come back in with our black embossing powder. Oh dear. Let's just get rid of that. This is kind of a bit bulky on there too. I use cardstock in here, and I don't use plastic spoons or any kind of a spoon because I do not like, that's better. I don't like the static that it causes with the embossing powder. Okay. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our heat tool and we're going to get that heat set on there. Now, one thing you have to be careful of when you're embossing on watercolor paper, you can tend to over emboss it. And because it'll sink into the paper. So as soon as it changes to that color, you want to move on very, very quickly. It doesn't take very long once it starts. There we go. So it really doesn't take very long. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this down. Like I say, I think this was just over, I don't want 3 1/4. I want just about there. And I'll cut it the same over here as well. So I do have my other colors already cut. All right, so like I say, we embossed it because we're watercoloring. And now when I watercolor, all I'm going to do, now I thought of using watercolor crayons. However, I found that I didn't have the right colors that I wanted. All right. So, okay. So first of all, I'm going to start with a pecan pie. So to get color in my lid, I'm just pressing down from the back. And then I'm also going to use early espresso. Geez, I've used early espresso more today than I have in a long, long, long time. So then all I'm doing is I'm just going to come in. I just have a little bit of a water jug there. And I'm going to come in. Just wanted to make sure I was all done. And I'm going to color those pine cones. I don't watercolor that often, and I don't know why, because it really is kind of neat how it works. We have another one right here. Then we're going to come in with our early espresso. Let's just touch that up just a bit. It's wet, so it's going to go wherever it wants to go. Just like so. So then we have it just like that. Maybe they could be a little bit darker. Pine cones are actually darker, aren't they? Let's just go in there. That's the beauty of watercoloring. You can, whew, that's quite dark. Let's just take that out. And maybe we can lift that color up a little bit. So, just going to take that and let's see. I don't even have a cloth down. Oh, I'll just take a baby white. Maybe take a dry baby white. So, that's the beauty of watercoloring. So you know what? I kind of like those a little bit darker. There we go. All right. So then we are then going to color the oranges. Don't you just love when you have oranges that are, I love when they're dried and they're put into a wreath. All right. So I just did the same with my pumpkin pie. You know what? I think I need more in there. So, like I say, wreath, watercoloring, and sympathy. Okay, so let's come in. The oranges here. Now to get the deeper color, I'm just going into the pad itself. Just dabbing on the corner there. Because it's usually the rind that is lighter. And I could have used a Cajun craze in there too. Just going to try to get a little bit darker. So I'll bring that up. See if you want to see it down just a bit more. All right. Let's just get a little bit there. All right. Then our next one that we're going to use is the greenery. So I am going to come in with Mossy Meadow. And let's just get, like I say, watercoloring is not perfect. And just get it there. Now I want it a little bit darker. Just gonna come in here and let's just get a little bit more darker in there. Those sprigs. There we go. So we've got it going like so. Watercoloring, I think the reason I like it is because you don't have to be so fussy about it. You don't even have to go within the lines. you can go all over the place because your watercolor is gonna leak out. All right, then what I thought I would do is I would come in, and let's just take this, and I'm going to come in with some Pool Party. I want it to be a watercolor background in there. So that's just adding a bit of background to it. Just kind of going along with the contour, the way that the image goes. Okay, so there you go. Now, I think it needs some splatters, but I'm debating what color splatters should I have on there. It's almost dark. Well, let's just give it a try. And I like to kind of do those splatters with, let's just see if I come in. This one's the one, whoops, I didn't heat set that. That is Misty Moonlight. That'll actually work. All right, so let's just come in and just get a tiny bit of splattering in there. I'm on a splattering thing, you guys. There, that just sort of adds just a little bit to it. You know what would have been good on there was a brown, but we don't have a really good brown. Oh, I guess I could have used the skin tone ones. Okay, I'm going to move this water out of the way. Just trust my luck, right? All right, so then I have a crumb cake base. I have a basic white. Now, I was thinking of this earlier. I could have done that wreath embossing folder on here, but I think I'll just leave it like that. And I've got this Pool Party to put this on. So this is what the card is looking like. So, do I pop this up? Let's just pop this one up with dimensionals. I'm gonna have to really pop this one down because it's the watercolor paper. Let's see, one here and here. And then oh, you know what? You didn't need to take these ones off in the inside. So let's just put this here. There we go. Oh, thanks, Pam. All right, so this is just going to go on to here like so. But we have a few other things that we want to do. There's this. Now, do I do a sentiment on here? Do I do a sentiment across here? Now, I'm going to show you a bunch of these sentiments that you could use. Wishing you all the best. This one, Thinking of You, I think is really nice. And this Forever Loved, Forever Remembered, I think would be really nice. So let me go in here and see, because I might end up being able to cut this down a little bit more. If it was cut down a little bit more, it might look a little bit better. But the Thinking of You, oh, I don't think it can be. I might be able to do fussy cutting around it. Okay, let's just do that. Put this on a block. And this is pretty bad because it's crooked. Now, I think to keep with the black, I think it would be best to do black embossing powder. Let's try that. Don't know if that's where it should be. Oops, it's pretty high. Let's just give this a try. Come in with that black. Or I could have done a black one on here, like so. Let's try this. Let's give this a try. Gotta remember I pulled this screen down, so I don't want things out of the scope of the window. So that's a little bit different. Okay, so let's just go and put this on like this. Just gonna come in, just put a bit there. I think that could go on there. And let's just cut that. See how that works. There we go, that'll work. So I'm going to put this down. Let's just put this down with our seal. Right onto our crumb cake. I know it's a bit of a different coloring. So this card could be at this point right now. Could be, you know, are you well or whatever. But I'm going to hold true to put that sympathy on the inside. Let's just put that right there. I'm going to come in with my dimensionals. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Sharon. It's different. If I don't use some of these stamp sets, I won't get these stamp sets used. But I've always liked this one with the oranges. The other one could be behind. It's this one. I love the sayings on here. Tidings of joy this Christmas season. Believe. May the wonder and magic of Christmas fill you with delight. Beautiful expressions on this one. Or sentiments. Okay, so let's just go right there. There. Now, I think this needs, of course, any card can use linen thread. Oh, I know what gems I'm going to use, though. All right, so this, I'm going to do a double bow. Not sure what you mean there, Pam. You said the bottom of the sentiment. Not sure what you're meaning. All right, so this is just going to come here. bottom for the sentiment. Yeah. This is just going to go there. And then, I hope I can find these very quickly. Yeah, here we go. These are those deer dots. And like I say, you can mix so many different things. You can, the bottom for the sentiment. Sentiment on bottom, maybe? It is kind of on the bottom. Anyways. Okay. The lag is so slow, right? So let's just put that there. And we'll just trim that off. Anytime I can put linen thread on something, it's an excuse to. I always worry that it's going to come out without, you know, where it's just going to retire on us. It's still in the annual catalog. So, all right, so I'm just going to put these here. And one right here. Now these are the deer dots from the special delivery. There's that. So Wreath, well, we'll get it as a sentiment card. This, The Right Words, is an amazing thing. Thinking of you, it could go a lot. Forever loved, forever remembered. Hoping the loss you feel right now will be eased by wonderful memories. Yeah, there's some excellent sayings on here. But you know what? Let's see. Let's do this forever one. Turn that over. And I don't really want to put anything on the inside to that effect. Now I'm going to come in with my Memento pad, the big one again. It was so inked up, I'm hoping that it's calmed down a bit. So just, whoops, wow, that's not even inked up. Wow. Let's just take that like that, and we are just going to, we'll pretend we put it on the inside. I've got to get it inked up again. Okay, so there we go. There's my mystery challenge. Wreath, Sympathy, because of what I put in the inside, and watercoloring. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give me the thumbs up, share my video. I really do appreciate it when you do that. Remember about the join offer. It is the best. So even if you just resigned, you can still sign up with your same person. Just saying. Also, because the deal is so good, $48 for $135, or $135 for $252. Amazing deal. Just remember that being part of a community is really, really important. I know it sure has eradicated my loneliness since COVID, that's for sure. Anyways, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm not live tomorrow. Yes, I am. I'm live at 4:15 Pacific. Oh my goodness. It'll be a Now What. This is where I'll use something that I didn't really, where I hope maybe it'll give you some ideas of what to do. I did have an idea and I can't remember what it was. I got to write these things down, that's for sure. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed just showing that you could do. Yes, Felicia, it is the best deal ever, ever. I don't know if they're going to duplicate it. Who knows what they're going to do. But this one is by far the best deal forever and ever and ever. I didn't get a deal when I signed up. Anyways, okay, so if you have been in my stamp camp, all the ones in the mail have gone out in the mail, and all the ones that are local are ready for pickup. What else have I got to say? Remember to crate, because it's great for the soul. We'll see you tomorrow, 4:15, for part of my Now What series. Take care. Bye for now.